It had been 17 days since the emergency rations had run out, and 6 since the potable water was finished. The small lifeboat had a rainwater still, but it didn't work well. With 3 of them and clear skies, water ran out quickly. Despite knowing it was bad for them, they'd begun supplementing with seawater. Brooks started hallucinating first. He kept saying he saw ships on the horizon. Nevin and Hall checked every time, but saw nothing. Brooks also wouldn't stay under the canopy, convinced he'd missed the ships, so he was suffering the effects of heat stroke and saltburn more than the others. They prayed for rain daily, partly to get relief from the punishing heat, and partly so they could drink, but rain also meant being battered by waves and wind. They'd drifted a long way from the boat since it went down in the unexpected storm. None of them had any idea where they were now, not even sure if the distress beacon was working. Starving and dehydrated, their bodies developed sores that refused to heal. Brooks's were really bad. Although the other 2 had tried to help, there wasn't much they could do. They could see a glimpse of bone through his shin. It smelled terrible, and Brooks spent the days and nights alternating between shivers and sweats. They didn't know if he was still hallucinating, because he could only manage mumbles between groans of pain. During the night, they heard a splash, and knew, even before they saw, that Brooks had said enough was enough. They floated on, not talking about the sharks they'd seen in the distance, where Brooks had slid into the blue. Nevin, through blistered, peeling lips, talked about books. A favorite was The Old Man and the Sea. Hall read it long ago at school. He said he never liked it. They spent the rest of the time half-conscious, listless from lack of food. Every day they had to dip in the ocean to soothe their skin lesions, holding onto the side. Nevin often found himself jumping at shadows in the deep, never sure if it was actually something or just dark water. Hall was the one hanging off the boat when it happened. Nevin was jolted out of a stupor by the cries. Grabbing the knife, Nevin leaned over, stabbing at the bull shark until it let go, using all his strength to drag a bleeding Hall back in. Or what was left of him. The dead shark bobbed in the becalmed water. Nevin had an idea. Days later, after drifting into a shipping lane, Nevin was finally rescued. Near death, he explained to his saviors what had happened to the others, and that he'd lashed the dead shark to the boat, living off it until they found him. It was only much, much later that they told him the truth. What was lashed to the boat wasn't a shark, but it had been eaten